Today we're continuing our Benefits of Yoga series, and today's benefit is bone density. And I have a quote for you. A diamond is a piece of charcoal that handled stress exceptionally well. Hello and welcome to episode 195 of Namaste Yoga. We're continuing our Benefits of Yoga series, and today we're going to be talking about the benefit of building bone density as you practice yoga. This is a question I get asked a lot, and we're going to talk about how this happens with your yoga practice today. We're on the shores of Lake Ontario today with a beautiful fog, and I have a testimonial from Shauna from YouTube to begin today. Thank you for doing the beginners videos. I'm 16 and dyslexic, and I find it very hard to concentrate. I have horses, which is a very time-consuming hobby, so this channel is very convenient. I am currently in the build-up to a big competition in show jumping, and these videos have helped so much with coping with my nerves, which I've previously had big problems with. Thank you very much. And that's Shauna from Wales in the UK. So today I also wanted to let you know about our daily videos on living your yoga, where you can ask me your questions about yoga and living a yoga lifestyle. We have weekly features called Thirsty Thursdays, where I do juicing videos, and Smoothie Saturdays, where I do a weekly smoothie video. And this week, one of our Namaste Yoga members, who has a radio show in California, but she lives in the UK, has this amazing voice. She did all new voiceovers for us for these shows to do the outros for them. And if you listen to them, we've got special treats for you at the end of each one of them. So, for example, on Thirsty Thursdays, if you follow that through, we have a really popular Thirsty Thursday video where I showed you the top 10 veggies and fruits for juicing. And so we had an infographic made for that, for a shopping list to go get your veggies and fruits for juicing, to make it really easy for you. And then Smoothie Saturdays, we just compiled a list of our top 5 smoothies and made a recipe book for you for that. And also we just created a really easy way for you to be able to go through and ask us questions, so that I might even answer one of your questions on our Living Your Yoga channel. So if you want to check that out, just go to my website at melissawest.com, and these appear daily on my blog and right on the homepage. And definitely check those out, and definitely check out Anne Kelly. It's ANNE. Kelly.com, Kelly, and she does amazing voiceover work, and she's as sweet as her voice. I just adore her, so definitely check her out as well. Also, a big thank you to Squeezed and Squeezed Yoga Clothing. I'm wearing one of the brand new bamboo tops that sits, it's a little bit more A-frame, so it sits away from your body. They're so comfortable, and they look really feminine, and they're really nice because they go from yoga wear to street wear. You can wear them really nicely that way. And thank you to Dusky Leaf for our yoga mats and yoga props. Today, you may need a block. We might use a block, we may not. Okay, let's get going with our class today about building bone density. You can go ahead and rest back. So make yourself comfortable. Go ahead and tuck your pelvis under, tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. Take a deep breath in. And let it fall out of your mouth. And allow yourself to draw all your attention back towards yourself. So as I said, today we will explore another benefit of yoga, and specifically increased bone density. Yoga is fantastic for your overall bone health. And as we've explored in our Benefit of Yoga series, we hold poses for long periods of time and shift from pose to counter pose, or from one side of your body to the other. Your asanas, or yoga postures, create extra load or weight that creates more tension from tendons pulling on bones. The more tension, the more new bone your body will make. Yoga is also, as you know from our class on flexibility, has a lot of stretching, which research on bone density now shows also stimulates new bone growth. For years, research has shown that new bone growth is stimulated when you engage in activity that puts stress on your bones. These have been classically referred to as weight-bearing exercises or weight resistance exercises. Dr. Lauren Fishman, he's an MD and author of Yoga for Osteoporosis, describes it like this, quote, "Yoga pits one muscle group against another to generate forces far greater than gravity. Yoga is an isometric exercise. It is also weight-bearing. Both of these types of activity have been proven to improve bone strength. Ultimately, it is the stress on our bones that stimulates the increase in our bone density." So how does this relate to the other layers of our koshas? I can understand how this relates to my physical body, but what about my energetic, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies? This week I was thinking about the metaphor of the forming of a beautiful clear diamond. A diamond starts out as black coal. But when under tremendous pressure, black coal becomes the most brilliant diamond. Here's a quote for you. "When we long for a life without difficulties, remind us that oaks grow strong in contrary winds, and diamonds are made under pressure." That's a quote by Peter Marshall. And here's another one by Thomas Carlyle. "No pressure, no diamonds." So I'm sure we can all think about events in our life that have put us under enormous pressure, when in fact we have grown tremendously emotionally, mentally, energetically, and spiritually. The pressure asks us to treat ourselves with loving kindness, allows us to reflect with awareness, bring acceptance to our situation, examine our truth, put our truth into action, make choices that reflect our truth, and get back into the flow of life. Although we may feel like dark coal during this time, we come out like brilliant diamonds on the other end. So go ahead and reflect on this idea of coal under pressure. Just take some time to notice how that relates to your own life right now. And begin to form an intention of what it is that you'd like to receive from your practice today. So not all stress or pressure on your body is a bad thing, as we see from the research on bone density. Pressure on your body, weight bearing, stress on your body helps to build bone density. And we can take this to the other layers of our body and see how stress and pressure can help us to grow mentally and emotionally, energetically, and spiritually as well. Okay, so you're going to say, lying on your back, with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. And feel your feet on the ground. You're going to inhale here. And exhale, press up into bridge pose. And you can stay here in bridge pose. This would be a fine place to stay. You're definitely building strength. It's definitely a weight-bearing exercise here. And I'm going to show you lots of variations here as well. You can stay at any level. The next level would be to fold your right knee in, and you could stay here. Or you could add some flexibility to this too by extending your right leg up. Okay, and then you're going to bend your right knee in and lower it down. And then you're going to go left knee in, extend your left leg up, bend, and lower. So you even get some impact here, which is really good for bone density too. So bend right, extend right, bend, and lower. Bend left, extend, so you get that pulling on the bones and the tendons. Bend and lower. So you get everything that works to build bone density in this exercise here. And keep breathing. And one more on each side. And then you're going to lower down and hug your knees into your chest. And then lower your feet to the ground and roll to the side and come up onto all fours for cat pose. So in cat pose, you'll be stretching the muscles all along the spine, and so therefore stimulating bone density along your spine. Okay, so from all fours, you're going to take your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Going to exhale and round up through your back. And inhale and arch through your back. Okay. All right, and we're actually going to also play around with some hand positions here to stimulate bone density in your wrist, because this tends to be an area where when people get older that they fracture their wrists because the bone density is weaker there. So we'll try palms up, fingers facing towards you. And if this is too much pressure on your wrist, like it's too intense of a stretch, then you can always bring your hands closer towards your body and do cat pose here. And then you can turn your palms up with your fingers pointing away from you as well. And the other position would be palms down, fingers pointing towards you to stretch out the backs of your wrists. Okay. And then you can sit back and you might want to just stretch out your wrists after that. Okay. And then the next one we're going to do is to strengthen your chest and your triceps. So you're going to come onto all fours. Actually, before you do that, just take your hands in front of you. Draw your elbows back alongside of your body so the inside of your arms are touching your torso. And exhale, press. Inhale along the side of your body. Exhale, press. So this is the arm motion that you're going to be making. So come up. Draw up through your pelvic floor. Draw your navel back towards your spine. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, press up. 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 One more like that. Inhale, lower down. And exhale, press up. Good. Okay, let's just stretch out your triceps after that. Okay, so we've just changed locations again because we're flexible yogis and there was a lot of noise, background noise in that other location, so we wanted you to have a little more peaceful environment, although we're hoping this place is a little quieter, fingers crossed. And hoping there's a few less mosquitoes too. We were getting eaten alive there. And even when I went to put my shoes on in the last location to move, there was a big slug in it, which is really gross. People think filming outside is so romantic. And it's really not. Okay, let's stretch out the other side. Okay. Come onto your right side with your right elbow underneath your right shoulder. You can keep your legs long if you want. The longer the lever, the more challenging the weight-bearing exercise. I'm going to bend my knees. Draw your shoulder back. You're going to lift your rib cage away from your shoulders until your hips come off the ground. Make sure your left hip is on top of your right hip and lift your left arm up. And then slowly lower down, we'll come over to the other side. The funny thing is that when we came down this morning, the ground is soaking wet, so I thought like nobody would be out with the lawnmowers and stuff today, but apparently not. Okay, take your left elbow underneath your left shoulder. Line your body up in a straight line. Bend your knees back. Lift your rib cage away from your shoulder until your hips come off the ground and lift up. Apparently people don't know that it's sexy to grow food, not lawns anymore. And then slowly lower down. We're going to come back onto all fours. And we're going to do another set of those tricep push-ups, the Chaturanga Dandasana. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees, I take them slightly behind my hips. And you're going to inhale, take your elbows straight back. Exhale, press up. Inhale down. Exhale, press up. Good. And sit back on your heels. stretch out those triceps. Oh, I thought, okay, that's good. I'm looking in the distance because I see this lawnmower being wheeled onto what looks like a lawn, but it's actually being wheeled onto the back of a truck, so that's really good. Yippee, we're very happy now. It's actually really funny. Tim and I will go on walks on the lakefront, and we'll just be going for a leisurely walk for the sake of going for a leisurely walk. This is our stress. And I'll see a lawnmower, and I'll be like... We're just going for a leisurely walk. We're not even out filming. That's the effect lawnmowers have on me now. Okay, we're going to make our way up to standing. Tuck your toes under. Hands under your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. And then walk your feet into standing. Okay, from standing, we're going to do some standing postures that build bone density by creating impact through your legs. So one of the great things that you can do for for bone density is walking, because it creates impact, but not too high impact. So we're going to do tree pose, but one of my favorite versions of tree pose, which is falling tree pose, where you purposely fall. So you don't even have to try and stay balanced. You purposely lose your balance and come in and out of the pose. So stand on your left leg, turn your right toes out, and pick up your right leg, and you try and bring it above or below your knee. And in this one, you're going to bring your right leg either kind of back towards your left leg, but it's going to be hard to get it above your knee, or you'll see what I mean. What you're going to do is fall and come back up. And maybe just touch your toes on your inner thigh. That would work. Then you're not touching your knee joint. So this is great for building bone density. Good for balance too. It's good to practice falling so that you are able to get back up. Okay? And then we'll do this on the other side. So stand on your right leg. Bring your left leg up. Focus on something that's not moving. And then we'll fall from this side. Vrikshasana. Okay, so that's falling tree. And then we're going to do Goddess Victory Squat, where we're going to move from side to side. So for this one, you need to be not too attached to your mat. You might even want to just come right off your mat. But what you're going to do is you're going to step out to the side, come to the center, and step out to the side. Good cardio too. One more each side. Okay. Next one is Warrior Ones. And this one's kind of cool because I was just reading on our continuing education course for teachers forum this morning on our membership site that Gabriella from Austria. She did this. I was thinking, oh, she's going to think I copied her. But she did this with her students yesterday in her class. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing that with my students this morning on when I film. So it's warrior ones with ha's. And she said she'd never done it before, so I thought that was really funny. But actually, Tim was telling me the other day about the 100th monkey thing. Right? What is it then when they dip their potatoes in salt? And then if 100 monkeys do it in Asia or something, then one monkey will start doing it in North America. Yeah. Once 100 monkeys start doing it, then everybody starts doing it, right? So it's one of those things. It's called the social consciousness, yeah. It's called the 100th monkey principle, yeah. Which like fascinates me. So I was like, oh my gosh, Gabriella did it. And I was planning on doing it too. It's weird stuff, right? But it's like something when it's in the air. Okay, but what we're going to do is warrior ones, and you're going to have to really not be attached to your mat for this one. So it's like where you step into warrior one, and you say, ha! like maybe kind of like you do in karate. I don't know, but I never took karate. Okay, so you go, ha! And I'm going to go away from you, and I'm going to go around this circle. Okay, ha! Ha, 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 ha. I'm going to come back. Okay. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, 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 ha. So there you go, the warrior ones with the ha's. So thank you, Gabriella. We did the 100th monkey thing. Wonder how many other hundreds of yoga teachers did that today. Okay, now you're going to take your legs wide on your mat. You're going to do wide-legged standing forward fold. You're going to roll your pelvis over your leg bones. Lift and spread your sit bones wide. And let your head drop. So just let this be an inversion for a moment. And then lift your heart so that it's parallel to the ground, so that you're extending through your back. So your back is flat, so you're stimulating the muscles of your back. So you're building bone density along your spine. And then drop down and place your right palm on the ground. Lift your heart up. Lift your left arm up. So for rotation. Still stimulating bone density along your spine by stimulating all those muscles along your spine and back. And then take your left hand on the ground and lift your heart up to the right side. Lift your right arm up. And then fold forward again, let your head hang, let your spine hang. And then come back up to standing. And you're going to come down onto your belly. Okay. Okay, so you're going to lie on your stomach with your arms straight up in front of you. And this is really great for building bone density in your upper back because it puts pressure on your upper back. You're going to press the front of your pelvis into the ground. And then you're going to start walking your elbows back until they're underneath your shoulders. Pressing into your forearms. And lifting up. So there's Sphinx pose. Spread your fingers wide, press your forearms into the ground. This is great for that kyphosis, that rounding of the upper back that a lot of people get. And this is an area where a lot of people who get osteopenia, the beginning parts of osteoporosis, the beginning of loss of bone density, this is a place where people get it in the upper part of their spine. So this is a great pose. I had a yoga student once in my early days of teaching who actually was able to reverse some of her bone loss in this part of her spine, and she attributed it to her yoga classes. We're going to do a really nice long hold here. So if you need to take a break, come out and come back in. That's totally fine. Keep your ears back over your shoulders. Back of your neck long. It's a back bend, not a neck bend. Just checking that your low back's nice and loose. We're going to go for 10 more breaths here even. Keep pressing into your elbows and your forearms. And then you're going to go ahead and slowly lower down. So walk your elbows forward. And before we come to the back bending, the forward bending position as a counter pose, just give your back a rest here in crocodile pose. Let your back come to a neutral position first. And then push up onto all fours. And for our counter pose, we'll do child's pose with your arms straight out in front of you. And then roll up through your spine. And for our twist today, I was thinking about what twist I wanted to do. I chose Dying Warrior because it is a pose where you're under a lot of pressure and stress. So what you're going to do is come up onto all fours, walk your knees off your mat to the right side, lower your left hips to the mat, lower your chest to the ground, take your arms out to the side, look over to the right side, extend your legs out and lower your top right leg down. It's kind of one of these pretzel kind of weird pressure twisty poses in yoga. And then the metaphor of the dying warrior made me think of the diamond under stress as well. Becoming even greater in our times of trial. And then, okay, let's gather yourself up. And we'll do that on the other side. So start again on all fours. And walk your knees off your mat to the left side of your mat, lowering your right hips down onto the mat. Take your arms out to the side, looking off to the left side. Extend your legs straight out. Keep your bottom right leg there. Lower your top left leg straight down. And then gather yourself up. And we'll come to a seated position with your legs straight out in front of you. And extend your right leg out, bend your left leg. Sit up nice and tall. So inhale, exhale, roll your pelvis over your leg bones. So it's just so interesting that it's stretching that creates bone density, not just high impact and not just weight bearing. So it's pretty much all of yoga is so great for building bone density. And on a totally anecdotal level, I just don't think I've ever seen any of my yogi friends walking around with casts. You guys can write me and tell me if you've ever seen a yogi with a cast anywhere. Broken leg, broken arm, wrist, anything. I just don't think I've ever seen that. Then slowly roll back up and we'll switch sides. So bend your right leg in, extend your left leg up. Lengthen up nice and tall over your leg. Inhale, exhale, roll your pelvis over your leg bone till you feel a comfortable stretch on the back of your leg. And then roll back up. And we will have Shavasana now. So go ahead and rest back on your back. Give yourself some time to receive your practice today of the benefit of bone density, the benefit of having some pressure and stress in your life so that you can be radiant and beautiful like a diamond. And as you reflect back on this class, just notice what stands out for you, what seems most important. As you're reflecting back on what stands out most about your experience of building bone density, or the metaphor of forming a beautiful clear diamond, ask yourself how this relates to your day-to-day life. What's one small thing you want to take away with you from today's class, from your yoga, from your experience today? How do you want to take your yoga with you today, off your mat and into your life? And then gradually allow your breath to deepen. Wiggle and stretch out. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. And slowly make your way up to seated. Thank you for joining me for episode 195 of Namaste Yoga. Only 5 more episodes to the 200th episode. If you still want to join us, you can email me at info@melissawest.com. We still have to make our reservations for either catering or going to the table. I know Deb, my assistant's going to set that up for us. So let me know soon if you're planning on coming so that we can have the right numbers for that. And we've got a rain location now with Terry at Perfect Form, and hopefully we'll be outside though, but we're all set. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you all, and so's Tim. And it's going to be lots of hugs and tears and joy, and it's just going to be really great. We're going to have lots of fun, and I just can't wait. So 5 more episodes. So I'll be seeing you all soon who are coming, and those of you who aren't coming, you'll be able to see the big celebration, and you can send us pictures of you and send us your celebration messages, and we'll include them in the video. So send us that as well. Okay, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave your comments. I respond to them all. Namaste.